Today we're going to have a complete tutorial on Amazon Kindle, which is basically a digital book reader, as we all know. But the thing is, when I first bought this device, I tried to use it, and honestly, it's pretty easy. However, I wanted to look for tutorials, especially in Spanish, and I couldn't find any. So that's why today we're going to see how to use your Amazon Kindle from scratch. In this case, I've already set it up, and I want you to know one thing. There are different versions of Kindle, but generally it will have a main button that is the same across all models, located at the bottom, right next to the charging port. You can see it a bit blurry, but it's there. This will vary depending on the version. You might be watching this video 5 years from now, and that could be a new version. In this case, this Kindle is a Kindle Paperwhite, so if you have this version, it will be quite similar. If you have another one, it might vary a little, but generally, they tend to be quite similar. Once you log into your Kindle, this page will appear. I'm not showing you the initial setup because it's as simple as choosing the language and entering your Amazon account. Once you get in here, that's where the real fun begins. First, to see all the Kindle settings, you go to the top and swipe down, just like on an iPad or any tablet. Here, we have options for airplane mode, Bluetooth, and dark mode if we prefer it that way, as you can see here. That's recommended mainly for nighttime. Then there's the option to request a sync in case we've recently sent a book to the Kindle sort updates, and takes in all those books we've sent. Next, we have all the settings, which we'll get into shortly, but first, we need to talk about brightness and warmth. This is extremely important, especially at night. To be honest, I use level 4 both at night and during the day, especially on this Kindle. The maximum brightness level is way too high. Well, in this case, the camera adjusts to the brightness, but believe me, in person, it's super bright, and even in direct sunlight, it remains very bright. So I prefer to keep it at 4. Then there's the warmth setting over here, which will just give a more yellowish tone or a cooler tone. In my case, I usually leave it at 0. Now, once we're here, let's go to where it says all settings, which is where all the important stuff really is. First, we have our account right here. In my case, I'm already registered, so I have my account here. But if you made a mistake and entered the wrong account, you can go here to change your account directly if that's what you want. Here we have things like the Amazon Home feature, which is in case you have smart devices, an Alexa, and all that kind of stuff to connect the Kindle to your Amazon Home. Then there's parental controls, which is in case this device is for kids. However, initially it will prompt you with a setup when you first log into your Kindle, asking if it's for a child. If it is, you enable it, and it will have certain restrictions. You can set it up here in Amazon Kids to add profiles if it's for a minor, and then you can assign the amount of restrictions you want. Let's name it again here. Sometimes it can take a little while. And what I was saying, here you can assign the permissions, like whether they can connect to the browser or not, whether they can access the Kindle store or not, whether they can access cloud content, whether they can access Goodreads, and these are the main settings we could have. If we go back here, we have the option to deregister the device, which is what I mentioned in case you registered an account that isn't really yours or want to switch to another Amazon account. You can do that here, and the device will automatically reset, allowing you to assign another account. In this case, you can simply add the information to this Kindle in case you lose it. Then people will be able to log in and see, I don't know, your address, your name, etc. But obviously, if they get lost and someone who doesn't know the Kindle very well receives it, it won't be so easy to access this information. Then we continue here with Goodreads, which is an application so that you can have book recommendations, ratings, a book that you have, what the community thinks about it this time, and thus be able to have access to a greater number of books. Email is private. Download a book, create an email. Use your own email to link to Kindle. Send it, and it goes to Kindle. If you have a Hotmail or Gmail account, download a book in PDF, PUF, and create a new email. In the recipient field, enter the email, and it will be associated with your Kindle. PDFs adapt to Kindle but don't display well, so convert PDFs or non-EPB formats before sending. Ads appear on the lock screen. You can choose to keep or block them. When sending a PDF to Kindle, convert it to a compatible format first to avoid display issues. Ads may appear on the lock screen, which you can choose to block. To unlock your Kindle, press the button and swipe up. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth allow online searches and device connections. Ensure your Kindle is updated and manage settings like power saving and language preferences. Adjust screen brightness and dark mode by swiping. Lock screen ads appear if your version has them, but you can block them. The book changes periodically. To unlock Kindle, press the bottom button and swipe up. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth help look up words or search authors online. Ensure software is updated in device options. Manage power, restart, reset, and storage. Set language and dictionaries. Use dark mode and adjust brightness by swiping. Now, another basic thing we can do is unlock your Kindle. If you tap anywhere on the screen, it won't unlock, as you can see. But what you can do is press the button at the bottom to unlock it, and it might take a moment, but it will enable the option to swipe to unlock. All you have to do is swipe up, and then you'll have that available. Now, let's go back and move on to the next thing, which is as simple as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This is mainly for those who don't know that within the books, you can select a certain word and look it up online. Or if it's an author or a person, you can search for them through the Kindle's browser or with an extension that goes directly to Wikipedia. And Bluetooth is for connecting to other devices, and you can set everything up here. Let's go back, and then we have device options. In this case, we have quite a few things, but what I would mainly focus on is to always make sure, besides software updates, that you have the most updated version. The rest are pretty general things. You can scroll down and enable things like power saving, restart the Kindle, reset settings, and manage storage to see how much space you're using. For example, I'm currently using very little space, and we could keep looking at this. Also, the date and time settings to stay updated, and another important thing is the language and dictionaries. You can set your Kindle to whatever language you want. In this case, I have it in Spanish, but if you want, you can change it to another language and then set the dictionaries to that language. Because when you search for something, I'll show you later how to do it. It will directly show you the meaning of that word. Now, let's go back a bit further to the screen and brightness settings, which are basically the same as what we would have by swiping here, which is dark mode and brightness and warmth. So, if you want, you can come here to activate it, but if you don't want to go through all that trouble of entering settings and all that, you can just swipe, and you'll have dark mode right there. We also have the brightness and quality settings, which are exactly the same. If you notice, if we swipe, that appears. Accessibility includes voice view for disabilities. Choose themes. Customize home and library for series, collections, and Audible. Reading options, page turn and vocabulary review. Home shows home and library for files and audiobooks. Help offers legal info guides and Kindle tutorials. Can we customize our home screen and library? Yes, we can group series, show collections, and display Audible, an audiobook app. Reading options allow page reloads with each turn and vocabulary review for past dictionary searches. This setup affects the home screen and library tabs. Swiping reveals files, audiobooks, and more, customizable to your preference. In settings, help covers legal info, user guides, and tutorials for navigation and Kindle features. Legal and compliance includes documentation, legal notices, and security. This is basically for when we exit here. Our home screen is, as you can see, it says home and here it says library. That's what we were configuring, and if you swipe over here, you'll notice what I was telling you about, whether files or books, Audible audiobooks, and other things. You can set that up however you prefer. Let's go back to settings and return to help. This is more about legal stuff and that kind of thing. User guides for beginners, tutorials for anyone who wants to know how to do certain things. For example, here it shows us how to navigate. So it brings up a specific tutorial that will pop up when you first start with your Kindle. So you can do this tutorial if you want, which directly shows us what we can do in each of the options that Kindle offers. Let's go back over here, and now in legal and compliance, we have documentation, legal notices, Kindle security, etc. Let's close here and go back to where we started. Now, how do we go about including books here? We definitely have to buy them, as that's often going to be the perfect solution. We can buy them directly in two ways. One is that you can use this option here, so you can search by author. For example, we can look for Robert here, and it shows us different authors. Let's pick one, Degoni. I honestly don't know him, but it tells us that it's updating the store, and as soon as it updates, all the books by that author will show up. We can just click on one of them to see, and it takes us to the purchase page, showing us the price of the Kindle book, which is $3.79, and it also gives us the option to buy, which is that little button there. As soon as we manage to complete the purchase, when we go back to the home screen, it will show up in this section here where it says your library. All the books from the library will appear there. It doesn't open from here. You just click down here on the right where it says library, and there you would have your books. That's one way to do it. But another way to get books here is to buy them directly from Amazon on a laptop, tablet, or something that might be easier for you. But the important thing is that whenever you buy a book on Amazon for Kindle, it should be on the account associated with your Kindle, because all the books are directly linked to your Kindle account. So if you're buying a book and you happen to be logged into a friend's or family member's account, that book will be associated with that person's account. Always make sure that the account you have on your Kindle is the same one you're using to make your book purchases. Ready? Now let's move on to the main topic. And for example, let's open a book and select mindset, just to put an example. When you select a word like that, you just have to press and hold on it, and it will enable that option for you. So you have several options. The first one is that when you select just one word, it will show you the dictionary here and tell you what that specific word is. So mindset, noun, etc. Ready. Now let's get to the heart of the matter. For example, let's open a book and select the word mindset just to use it as an example. When you want to select a word like that, you just have to press and hold on it, and that option will pop up for you. So you have several options. The first one is that when you select just one word, it will show you the dictionary here and tell you what that specific word means. So mindset, noun, etc. etc. If we slide to the right, it will search for results on Wikipedia about the same thing we have selected, and if we slide here again, it will generate a translation in case we are reading a book that is not in our language and we have a question about a word. Alright, up to that point, we have the quick functionalities at the top, which are really great for when we can't identify a word. Next, the next thing we can do when we select something on the Kindle is highlight it. For example, I'll highlight it, and what's going to happen here is that it will be underlined in this spot. So, like gray, and from there I can start making notes if that's what I want, or later see a summary of all the highlighted text I've selected. Another thing I can do when selecting words is, for example, select this one over here, and what I'm going to do is simply, if you see that on the sides of the selected word there are like little boxes, I can grab those, press them, and move them to the side I want to maybe select a whole phrase and highlight it. I can even add a note on top of it, so I could put a note, and here it brings up the keyboard, so I could type remember. Perfect. Once I do that, I just hit save, and automatically it will be highlighted here too. But what will happen is that if I come over here and tap on it, it will give me access to the notes so I can read it and say, oh right, I wrote that down, perfect. And well, you can just leave it there or delete it. I would delete this one over here too, and that's it. Now, inside the book, we can do several things, but basically, the menu is at the top. When you want to change or go back a page, you can just tap on the right side, right here on the edge, and you'll flip to the next page. If you want to go back, just tap on the left side, and you'll go back a page. Now, if you want, you can also swipe from right to left to go to the next page, and from left to right to go back a page, and that's it. Kindle settings are at the top. Tap to open the menu. The title may display incorrectly if sent via Kindle email. Adjust info display, but ensure the book format is correct for the best reading experience. The book title is shown here. Tap here to change display settings. Configuration depends on the book's format. Adjust font, text type, size, and format. Margins can be set. Alignment varies by book. I have to say one thing, you can configure this perfectly, but you also need to keep in mind that sometimes what shows up here is closely tied to the book's format. If the book's format is off, then no matter how much we tweak this, we won't be able to have an optimal reading experience. That's why it's better to have a properly configured format beforehand and then come in here to change it according to our preferences. Here we can change the font. We can change the type of text to bold, the text size, in case it seems too big or too small. Then there's the format, whether we want it vertically or horizontally, and we can set margins to be small, large, or medium. And then there's alignment, which isn't available in all books, so we need to keep that in mind. And then the line spacing, which is basically the space between each line. And finally, we have this option for more settings to show us the reading progress. So I have this enabled, which shows me my position in the book. Then if I wanted to show the clock while reading, I don't want that. And then we have more options like mention books. So if this book references another one, it will give me a tag or access to that other book so I can check it out. Then I get some information about the book. If I want more details when I open it for the first time, there are popular highlights. This means that if other people have this book and highlight certain texts, for example, if I want to highlight the same thing or if many people keep highlighting it, it will show me that a specific person highlighted that text. Enable highlights menu and page turn animation for a realistic feel, though I don't use it. The workwise feature, akin to the dictionary, isn't used by us. It identifies complex words by showing translations or meanings based on others' translations. I select it when in doubt. This is similar to the font change option. Another option shows our book progress and breakdown, like chapter 14,156, existing chapters, and specific pages. We can directly access desired chapters. In my case, I prefer to select it when I have any doubts. This is like the first option to change the font. Then we have this option over here that basically shows us everything we've done in the book and how the book is broken down. So, for example, chapter 14,156, what chapters exist, and on which page it is specifically. We can go directly to the chapter we want. And besides that, also on the right side, as I was saying, we can find, sorry, I got mixed up. Again, we're going to go here to the notes and highlights section, and here we see the words we've highlighted, along with the page number, chapter, and what we specifically highlighted. If there's a note, we can just click on it to see what we wrote, but in a pretty general way because here we can literally see everything we've done throughout the book. As you could see, we were on chapter 20. Let's scroll down and select it, and notice that it automatically redirects us here. We can click continue. Now, if we click here again, we have another option where we can access the notes and highlights directly. It's basically the same thing we just opened, but in this case, if we don't want to go to the content, we can open it directly here. Then we click the next option, which acts like a kind of bookmark if that's what we want to do, as you can see at the top. Then we have the option to search here if we want to look for a book or a note that we remember by a specific word or concept. We can search for it. Finally, to take screenshots, which is something we saw earlier that we could do directly from this button over here. We can open it here. This one generates the annotation or screenshot right at that moment. We can also go to that screenshot we took, or we can press at the same time the top right and bottom left corners, and that will create a flash. Let's do it again because sometimes it fails a bit. As you can see, I'm doing it right now. You just have to do it well in the corner, and it will automatically turn dark for a moment. And here the screenshot is generated. To transfer these screenshots, there's no easy way through Wi-Fi or anything like that. Instead, you connect a cable to the wall outlet below to a PC or laptop or wherever, and transfer those screenshots directly from there to the PC. The same goes for books. We can transfer them directly from our PC to the Kindle. So, here you would have the complete 360 tutorial on how the Kindle works. We just press down to lock it, and that would be the complete tutorial on how to use this device for beginners. If you want us to do a specific tutorial on all the ways to download books and upload them to the Kindle, just let me know in the comments section, and we'll bring it to you in the future so you can have your books without needing to buy them. Or maybe we can specifically show you how to buy a book to avoid any issues and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see you next time. If you made it this far in the video, leave a little book emoji in the comments section. See you, bye-bye.